motion of no confidence in and the removal of the executive mayor.
So can I give Councillor Senegal an opportunity to table her motion, please?
A motion of no confidence in and removal of the executive mayor in terms of Rule 18 of the Standing Rules and Orders and Section 58 of the Municipal Structures Act of 117 of 98.
Thank you very much. Executive Mayor?
I see it as a motion that is coming as a form of attack in order to elevate white supremacy culture.
Now I'm going to open this house for the debate of this motion.
We as the Democratic Alliance support the motion. Mayor, you failed this month to prioritize service delivery, but rather continue to put political career deployment ahead of your core responsibility. The example in this case, you've accepted and advocated for a further 50 million added to our budget with further political appointments, with offices that are brought with staff that we don't know what they're doing, and duplicating the responsibility of those that we are paying a lot of money, Section 56 managers. Mr. Speaker, that is showing the middle finger to our residents. And you are saying you can sit in the cold for months and days. You can sit in the sewage and in the stage of sewage for months and days, but you take 15 million rent and spend it when service delivery does not matter. That's saying to our communities, sewage that is in your doorstep, as the custodian of this municipality, the head of the municipality, the mayor, I don't care. I care about internal things. Mr. Speaker, we are elected here by the public to represent them. So their interest must come first, not the interest of the political parties here, of the politicians that are in this August House. You failed, Speaker. The executive mayor failed. Yeah, can I talk to the executive mayor? You failed to execute consequence management against the very accounting officer who failed to produce a very simple document in a textbook. You failed. I think you've given ample time to come out and rectify that and assure your community that I, as the mayor of the municipality, I run the municipality in this fashion, and I'm not going to allow dilly-dally, but transparency at its best. Inconsistency in your response, Honorable Mayor, and I'm about to finish. You claim the unqualified audit opinion, but you exaggerate yourself, telling you are only 6 months in government. Honorable Mayor, you must take cognizance of the fact that you cannot come here and tell us that we must not be the voice of the people who went to go and cast their votes for us to stand for their rights and their needs. So this motion against you is nothing personal. It's just testing your ability as the mayor, and you have failed.
Madam, I don't know why the sponsor of the motion want to downplay the unqualified opinion report. I remember actually I was trying to change the sponsor of the motion. Does he understand what unqualified opinion option is? Can the unqualified opinion option want a person to be removed in the office? Maybe let me give you a few minutes to talk about this opinion. You see, when the AGSA after doing audit, he has four options in taking or in expressing his opinion. One being the address. The address meaning the disclaimer that you always. Then there's a qualified. Maybe the smaller things are qualified. I know maybe councillors that they don't understand the qualified and unqualified. Then the third one being unqualified. It means things are looking not bad but bad. Then there's four, the last one, which is clean audit. It's the last one. Number 4. So unqualified comes before clean audit. And I saw some councillors who did that. I think they don't understand. I don't think they understand. And hence I'm saying to base your motion on unqualified opinion is nonsensical to say this. It's nonsensical to say that we must not think about it, we must say this and this. And thank you, Mayor, for and maybe this Muslim man or whatever doesn't stay in Emfuleni. You might find it from sources of somewhere. Because I know these people are being passed to be here. I know this other countries, they pass people from somewhere now and they're leader. When you were there, dress nice and whole day. You know, trying to be presidential. You know, that we are not going to be pulled down by some nonsensical motion. We are resolute. The ship is moving the right direction.
She's
Once again, this mayor is doing very well. You are doing very nice.
Firstly, let me accept the response from the mayor. His Excellency. It shows that he has already begun to master the art of leadership. Because what he has said is exactly what is happening on the ground. Number 1, let me confirm that this motion is a copy work from somewhere. If I am justifying that one, you can go and read page of the motion. It is page 4 of the motion, where it says under number 2, there is a paragraph there which says the executive mayor fails to ensure that the residents of Emfuleni have access to sufficient water leakage and waste of clean water through water leakage, B, water shortage experience in Metro, C, the continued and unresolved dispute with Emfuleni. So what is written in this document is exactly here. The only thing which has been changed is Emfuleni and Bloemfontein. So procedurally, I want to confirm that what has been said, that is a cut and paste work. It is true. The evidence is here, not somewhere. I'm carrying it here. Others, if they want to open it, they can go and Google Mama will mention this palette. They will see it. It is here. So the mayor was correct to say this is the work of plagiarists. And I can go further to explain what is plagiarist. Now, that is the first point. The second point, Mr. Speaker, is that the sponsor of this motion, in terms of Employment Equity Act number 55 of 1998, falls under undesignated group. Now, as a labor practitioner, what is undesignated group? Are the group of people who benefited from apartheid system. You can go and buy Employment Equity Act, and then you open it, it will tell you exactly that one. I am saying this because what pressed the penny button here for the applicant to forward this motion is an economic zone which has been agreed here in this house. And the applicant was against the economic zone because the land in Ward 25 which is used is the land which is reserved for their cattle to eat grass in that land. So that is what pressed the penny button for this motion to be forwarded. That is number 2. Madam Speaker, number 3, I want to address the issue of overtime because it is part and parcel of this one. The apartheid system did not treat South African as human beings. They were working with no overtime. And according to this motion, our fellows who are getting overtime, they are being criticized that the executive mayor fails to make sure that there is no overtime in Emfuleni Municipality. We are not the government who will exploit people and make them to work as much as they work, but there is no overtime. I don't blame some of the statements because some, when they see mayor is a black person like myself, they only see him as a garden boy. There are people who never thought that a black person can be a mayor in the municipality. I don't blame them. But fortunately now, things have changed. We are here to make sure that we give service delivery to everyone, to all South Africans. And we are led by our mayor, and the mayor is doing correct. So the issue of overtime, the workers of this country, in fact, it's very much painful because we're speaking about this day, this thing of overtime. We are in Workers' Month. There was a celebration of Workers' Day on the 1st of May. And we are here, we are told that workers must not access overtime. It cannot be correct. The Labour Relations Act of this country, supported by international labor law, workers of this country will continue getting overtime, including the work of all municipalities, particularly in Emfuleni municipality. The corporate identity of Emfuleni, which has been mentioned here, has improved, is improving, has improved positively so. But there are some councillors who are sponsoring some journalists to write all negative things about Emfuleni municipality. So they are guilty, they are conscious now, is telling them that whatever they've been doing is wrong. So that one cannot be used here. The corporate identity of Emfuleni is improving. The evidence is there in Cllr, in Gauteng legislation. That's why they can get evidence. Because all this which is here, said here in this document has no scientific proof. Has no scientific proof. It was just a guesswork. Madam Speaker, as I'm not going to take more time, this motion politically has no capacity. This motion, it has no capacity to change the minority to be majority. It has no capacity. Raising a motion cannot make you to run over majority, even if you are from the minority. What needs to happen is that people must do what the ANC coalition do service delivery, and service delivery. In that way, that is what made me assist to the majority in the future. Lastly, Chair, the sponsor of this motion, I can confirm that really is psychological background and suffering from ideological hermaphrodites. Because it seems that he's practicing right, he's preaching right, and practicing left. I thank you.
And if it need be, what is it for them? We'll vote against this motion.
That's voting.
We, as African National Congress and our fellow partners, we are here to represent the community of Emfuleni with our mayor. Senegal will never confuse us. His allegation against the mayor is his own allegation. And this motion, Mayor, we are not going anywhere. We are here to stay. We have been voted in by our community to defend you as our mayor. And you are still going to beat us for the second time. My electricity is not my own. We need them, they must come and fix. So, for national abuse, we are on freedom plan. We are Senegal. In a source, the law to put this to abuse about my community. They must be paid. If they are working weekend, they must be paid those overtime. We are here to make sure, Mayor, they must be paid. There is no abuse of finance here, of budget of the municipality. There is no such. But push out the action, I'm sure. Ngekashale abantu ekunyaniseni ukhansela Rwanda babengafuni ukuthutha abantu bakuthi ixesha lethu
The country has just gone through local government elections in November 2021. And we only have 4 months in office. And now I think I have to remind Councillor Seneca that we are still operating under the budget of 2022 IDP and budget. I view this barbaric behavior as intended to cause unnecessary delays aimed at making it difficult for the Speaker to finalize 2022-2023 IDP and budget community consultation processes, thus denying the community an opportunity to contribute towards the development of their plan that should respond to their needs and fears. Councillor Mchawe and Councillor Ndwandwe have covered on other issues. However, I want to refer back to page 2. Number C, it says that problems pertaining to water distribution and water shortages also are detrimental to health of the residents of the municipality. On this one, I want to remind you also, and also the mayor has covered me, but the department, there's a national intervention which is placed under Section 63, where the water are put in the DWS to eradicate sewer stages and water leakages. And then there's a list of wards that are identified where the intervention will take place. And we know exactly that it will depend on what also it seeks to achieve. And number 3, if we go back to page 3, number K, or alphabet K, it says non-payment of bulk suppliers, e.g. as home and drinking water. There, number 3, the department have rolled out the prepaid meter program, and they are SAPS approved to ensure that everything is in line. Also, the department has also introduced an electronic system whereby people will be able to receive their statements via email, SMSs, and or WhatsApp of their meter reading. I want to congratulate the finance department and the mayor with their plan to cover the debts from these big companies within the Emfuleni. This may be the reason for this. This may be the reason for this intended motion for this motion. Do not repeat the money that is needed to improve the service delivery in Emfuleni. Thank you very much.
But before I can say it, let me just say that we must at all times never confuse the terrible conditions on the ground with the state of mind. We have to be cautious of that. It is clear that the mayor has failed this one in executing his duties and forever being in denial. And mayor, we want to caution you that denialism leads to depression. You are going to collapse. Speaker, the mayor cannot make efforts to ask us to speak to quantity and quality. And not be fair. Quality is a measure of excellence of the state of being. What is excellent about allowing companies that have different municipality to continue to do business with the municipality? Indeed, if that's a measure of quality, really look at your speech and explanation. I'll take my time. I don't want to rush to consider something. Where is the quantity in having wasteful, irregular, and unauthorized expenditure in our findings by the AG in excess of everything, the quality of quantity? Your failure to implement possible management is what is doing the municipality policies and driving our communities the most needed services such as fixing potholes on our roads, fixing sewer spillage, but to name a few. If the mayor believes that the motion has characteristics that seeks to promote white we want to tell you here that you are the catalyst that enables the process to divide, which affects all Emfuleni residents. Our touches, Mr. Mayor, it's a shame for us to say we are coming from Spokane, but when we speak, you say it's safe to divide. If traffic is sewer spillage every day is a sign of safe to divide, you give me an A class to the mayor. Every day, by the claimants, open and accountable government. If you were one of us, you would belong all to me. You will not waste time. By so saying, Mr. Mayor, you are not holding your 10 million time accountable. In your speech, you said that communities do sit. Then you said that communities must sit. For example, human settlement, sports, environment, all of them will sit. They are not sitting there. It says, we're next to the mayor. They are not sitting on the sides. Mr. Mayor is not doing oversight on his federal battalion. I don't want to talk about them. Our focus today is mainly on the squadron of the mayor. It is because of the mayor's fizzlement that our people are subjected to living in inhumane conditions. MC my mentioned in his name of municipality on the 25th of April 2022 that Emfuleni and Bravo are dysfunctional and are under financial stress. Rainwater and Escom are all its own proof that Mayor has not been able to change things around in Emfuleni. I heard when Honorable Councillors was debating, and there was a reference made to an unqualified opinion, Councillor. Let me tell you something. An unqualified opinion that will tell the municipality is in good economic life. It merely states that the financial report is transparent and that and has not been reported as. We must remind also the money that 100% of the transactions are not verified. The mayor has a legal approach when it comes to matters of business municipality. What you get is careful, it's clear. As the EFF, we are in favor of this motion. The problem is that we go on the issue of Omaru. We are dealing with matters that affect us as behaviors here in Emfuleni. And it is that matter that we say, let us vote
we view this motion as a political motion. If you look at the reasons, they are not based on the performance of the current executive mayor. Perhaps they are talking to the previous administration, but they are not addressing the issues with the current executive mayor. And we view it that its target is to change administration, which unfortunately that has not been sanctioned by voters. As the ANC, we won the 8 wards out of 45, which clearly demonstrates that our people still prefer to be ruled by the ANC. So Madam Speaker, the change that is being engineered here will lead to the challenges more than solutions. And its source is to bring instability and instability. There's a saying in Xhosa where they say, "Ubeta inja, uvele umnikazi." This is what is happening. This motion is not only triggered by the piece of land that the municipality has taken to stimulate the economy of the valley. That is going to benefit the most marginalized people of the valley, the poorest of the poor. It's not only that. It also has been triggered by the revenue collection drive led by the MMC of Finance. We know that there are white elites that have been abusing the municipal resources without paying services. So this is what triggered this thing. So we are saying, executive, we are not apologetic as the ANC. We are behind you, and we are saying, are we now? We know this motion is just intended to delay the decisive intervention, like you have said. We know with the executive mayor, we have touched people where they were sitting in their soft spot areas. So we are not apologetic. We are here to work, and we are cruising very nicely. So executive mayor, and your team, we are saying vote of confidence. Thank you.
I would ask us just to go on a quotation from Frank Kanala. It says open. Sometimes people want to call belief that is very strong. When you are presented with evidence that rests against that belief, the new evidence cannot be accepted. It will create a feeling that is extremely uncomfortable, called written dissonance. And because it is important to protect the core belief, they will rationalize, ignore, and even deny anything that doesn't fit within the core belief. Now, Communal Mayor, we believe Executive Mayor that the web is evident in terms of what is being participated. You have established certain structures. Yourself and your mayor community, Communal Mayor. I would want to just go to a few things that it was discussed within the council. So, councillors, Senegal, and the collective that are in support of the motion, they are just ignoring the issue that greatness is not a destination. It is a continuous journey that never ends. So, we believe that the government, Mayor, it's evident when we look at our recovery of outstanding debts. We know some when you look at the Cllr as well, I don't want to speak about the people in the Cllr. You look at who is in the Cllr, you look at their age as well, and then it will tell you, it's a clear indication, it's trying to protect their interest. You look at the age, you look at Father Lucia, they are trying to generate us for implementing the SEZ. We are going to implement the SEZ. There are other restaurants and from the volume of need. I make that very knowledge. Councillor Makota, you were speaking earlier on and you were speaking about issues of our land. And you were very clear, you were speaking in this house. Some person in the Cllr will say, speak English. I want to go further and go to their comfort points. I was speaking Afrikaans. On Sunday night, without any doubt, we know, Executive Mayor, that and you are posing as a visionary young mayor. Everybody will be sitting there. We do not want to be done. Let it be done all. And you are clear, Councillor, that spoke about we have won elections in our wards. We have won elections in our wards. And we can confidently say, whenever time is spent, just on Monday, make an example, Monday waste were collected in my ward. Let the waste illegal dumping sites were cleaned in our ward on Monday during a holiday. Who must pay that? The matter I will pay very consistent. Now, I want to just, as I close when I'm in the have another quotation. I think we need to do a commissioner as well to remove. And this code will be very uncomfortable to some people. The code is from our late Cllr Sipho. We know that Cllr Sipho was killed. The details of his killing we know. Cllr Sipho goes and says, now we say the country is in a state of civil war. But people who have seen this war are blessed. Because the theater of the action has been in the township, they have been in the rural areas, the homelands, the countryside. Very few whites, except the continue have experienced the civil war. For us, this war to go to political development, the whites also must feel what the blacks are feeling. By this, we don't mean an indiscriminate attack on whites. Let's quantify the current political conditions. And as the source says, let us give the right condition of how it's pronounced. It is correct. Material conditions is not consciousness. That's Marxism. Material conditions is not consciousness, not arguments. So, we want to put it in context. People get upset because of work is being done consistently within the previous disadvantaged and marginalized communities. The intervention from national department in terms of water spillages and sewer, we can see work is being done. They are just ignoring the facts. You know, Executive Mayor, I don't know what you have for Councillor Saneka. You remember she was contesting also in your waters of cancer. Myself included. Now we want to know, Canada already you know. In contesting this podcast because on the ballot paper, I was number one, she was number something somewhere there. And she went there. You know what? With 0 votes. It's very surprising. She would even, I think, Councillor Radebe on his ballot, she was there. Where are you? Now, we want to state it very clear. And we are hoping our fellow brothers and sisters will understand us very well. The matter of expropriation of
is moved, we are going to implement it in Emfuleni. First thing I want us to speak about, there's a flat here. There's a flat. Used to be the one owned by the municipality, used to be owned by the municipality. I think it's still owned by the municipality. And you see, I think we'll have to do that investigation. Municipal employees which were white occupied that municipal building. That's it. Now, compared to the municipal building, when these ones retire, their kids take over that. It's not going to happen now. Not here, not now, not ever. We are going to make sure, because you already took land from us, we are going to make sure we take it back. Without any fear of contradiction. So, Comrade Mayor, we are standing here and saying we are against that motion of no confidence, and we are saying now, because I have seen that in the last year, we can go to that vote, we have to go to town. Thank you very much.
First, let me correct this one. We are sitting in one committee or a few committees with councillors, and our committees are very sitting. I asked. The second part, Mayor, I'm just asking myself because there's a point that is missing on this motion of no confidence. Part of the public participation. I'm raising this because we are received from IDPs, and I don't remember one community saying something that is in line with we don't have trust in you, Mayor. I don't remember saying that. Now I'm asking myself, sitting here, where was this motion of no confidence formulated? Because the community out there is happy, and they even contributed in giving us or reminding or reviving the mandate that we are having to say, go back and make sure 1, 2, 3, 4 happens in this new administration. So that is why I'm asking myself here. What informs this motion of no confidence? And I don't want to go further, but I'm happy because the community is happy with this administration. So from my side, from the side of the ANC, I follow the other councillors from my side to say, Mayor, you've got our support. And we will make sure that we hit the crowd running. We are not leaving any stone unturned. We will make sure we deliver what we promised our people. Through your leadership. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues, members of the media, and people in the Cllr. To be quite honest, this is just a pushback of the 1652 generation, the white settlers that stole our land. And indeed, this administration has ruffled feathers. That is why this motion today. And I'd like to start with the Court Executive Mayor by Amilcar Cabral. Hide nothing from the masses, tell them no lies, expose lies whenever they are told, mask no difficulties, mistakes, failures, and claim no easy victories. Senegal Unamanga. Could it be that you are sent by Military Clerk? Well, it's a question to be answered. Payment of rainwater and ESCOM, Executive Mayor, is on point. We are not behind. We have a payment plan with rainwater. We will be having a payment plan with ESCOM. The rolling out of smart prepaid meters is going to happen. And you know, Councillor Senegal, the audit has already happened in some of the suburban areas. And that is why you are having so much chest pains. Patching of potholes is already happening. We have already paid the service provider and it will continue happening. Fuel management with new infrastructure in the pipeline. A call center should be finalized before the end of the financial year so that our communities have access to the institution. Credit control will be implemented without fear nor favor. Whether you can bus all of them into this gallery, but we are going to implement credit control in the 353 companies that owe the municipality 321 million. Your messages are not going to deter us. Executive contract management is improved. Procurement has increased to 57% under this administration. An audit action plan is also in place that speaks to the unqualified audit council team. A dispute committee is in the pipeline, Councillor Senegal, and it will be here, presented here in this council, whereby our communities will be able to raise their disputes and we will respond positively as a municipality. So, Executive Mayor, with those short words, we base our struggle on the concrete realities of Emfuleni. And as man, Executive Mayor, vote of confidence.
The era that we are living in, it is an era of neo-colonialism. I just want to respond to Councillor Saul, but allow me, Speaker, to make a reference of a biblical reference. If we all know who is Saul in the Bible, Saul is someone that was tormenting believers, Christians. So we are not surprised today to hear Councillor Saul saying all what he has said. It is highly expected. But today, I don't understand when he says committees are not sitting. I don't know which committee is he serving. But Speaker and councillors, this is one of the stable coalition government in the whole country. It paints all those and also the agents that are being trained to really make sure that poor and disadvantaged people do not enjoy the fruits of the freedom in this country. So unfortunately, it is not going to happen. Let me come to, like I've said, we are living in the era of neo-colonialism. When this is the time of neo-colonialism, it is not going to happen the way it happened in the first time. You need to bring some of us who are like us and pretend as if they are amongst us, knowing very well that they are not amongst us. So we are here dealing with the trained agents to make sure that all what we are trying to do as this coalition, like I've said, it is the most coalition that is stable, so it does not sit well with quite a number of people. Speaker, one councillor said the mayor is being crucified of the sins of the previous administration. I think as this collective we have agreed that we are not going to disassociate ourselves from that. But our responsibility it is to make sure that we are going to correct all the wrongs that have been done. So we as Community Solidarity Association, we're standing here to say we are fully behind or fully against the motion that has been put forward by the Freedom Front. Councillor Senegal, I think I personally have to congratulate you for an outstanding work that you have done of a rent-a-crowd. We have rented a crowd to come and show them how embarrassed it will be. It is not going to happen in our lifetime, to live under we strongly believe that councillor like the mayor or the speaker, when she was making the opening remarks, that this is the month that the African Union or the Organization of African Union was formed. It must remind us why it was formed. some of us are still living with the pains of the past. And when we see an administration that is trying to repair the pains of the past that were caused by the colonialists, and some people clapping hands into that, you begin to ask yourself, are we really coconuts? Are we really, people that would say, we are pro-Africans or we are pro-blacks. So for that, Mayor, we are with you, and it is not going to happen in our lifetime. Thank you.
The problems of our municipality are big. The pain is deep. And it is sad to see our people living in these conditions on a daily basis. It was for this reason that New Horizon movement decided that we were going to join the coalition to correct, to rebuild jointly, rebuild jointly, and bring the necessary services for our people. We have decided we took a conscious decision that we are never going to sit on the grandstand, condemn, criticize, and do nothing. Because it is only when you do nothing that you can see mistakes. We decided to come into the boxing ring rather than sit on the grandstand. And it is for this reason that we feel that it is narrow political gymnastics to bring a motion of no confidence to a new administration that is practically only 4 months old. It is opportunism, and therefore we've decided that we are going to reject the vote of no confidence. But secondly, the Speaker has mentioned that there will be a council sitting next week, and we will expect to see the white people who are in attendance today attending next week's sitting, so that they are not only here when there is a vote of no confidence. Thank you.
And let me greet all the people who have attended this gathering today. And then let me start by saying this, without offending anyone. The first time I dealt with a subject called local government, it was in 1994 as a subject. I'm well traveled in this space, and I understand the evolution of local government in this country since 1910. And I understand what is the purpose of local government. And when we were faced with a situation of the outcome of 2021 November local government elections, we were approached by the African National Congress to form part of what I may call, not even a coalition, let's call it a majority government, because this English is disturbing sometimes because people elevate these words for something else. And I told the ANC, give me in fact, I am going to take the most difficult department, and that is local economic development. This is what I told them. Then you can take the rest with all other parties. And the reason was because my understanding was that we are on an ongoing reconstruction of the country, and we need brains than emotions to respond to the issues. And that was the decision of the PAC. Number two, I am a Pan-Africanist. And one of the lessons that the PAC told you or teaches you is that right remains a right, whether it is said by one person or 100 people, it does not matter, it becomes a right. Number two, I was taught that truth has got no majority, it remains a truth. It does not matter where it comes from. Now let me come to the subject matter. One of the rewards of longevity in politics of this country that for someone like me is that when people speak, I know a lot of people across. And fortunately, I met a long-time friend of mine in the corridors called Cllr Sipho, whom I've known since 2000. And then we were just talking about, so she told me that they are pushing for a motion of no confidence. And my answer is, I don't believe it. Let me see it. Because it should be my lifetime joke that I've never seen. And if it does happen, then I'm going to register it in a full council sitting. One, the motion lacks rationality, it lacks substance, it is unrealistic, it lacks purpose. It's something that is, I can summarize as MMC Jones was saying, Bishop Jones, that it's a pure political gimmick. The motion is correct, the timing is wrong. The motion is correct in the sense that it raises the challenges that we live in them on a day-to-day basis. But it lacks a prescriptive interpretation of what is a realistic turnaround in 4 months. Show me any municipality, time immemorial, whenever human beings are that has turned anything in 4 months' time. Then that will make sense to me. The second thing, it is that, just as an example, if you deal with matters of economic development, you don't deal with prescriptive things there. When you have to engage partners, they are not your kids. It takes time to clinch partnerships because you first make proposals to people, either they accept or they don't accept them. Even if they do, where on earth have you ever seen economic development thriving in 4 months? The best economy that we get is the one that is driven by slaves. That's the best economy you get under the sun. Because slaves, you don't pay them, they don't rest, they don't sleep, they work all the time. So, on behalf of the PAC, without repeating what I want to say, let me first, in closing, say this. Congratulations to those who raised the motion of no confidence, because we are debating the issues that they have raised. But the emotion is irrational. The timing is wrong. It will remain wrong forever and forever in the history of this council. The last part that I want to emphasize is this. Let's suppose the motion goes through today, the mayor is removed. We bring another motion in 4 months, there's a new mayor. Because there's no mayor who's going to do anything in 6 months, forget it, not under the sun. So what are we saying to our people? Are we here in this council to enjoy a political gimmick, as Councillor Cllr was saying, or are we here to speak on behalf of our people, even if things don't allow us to say certain things? And it is in that context that I'm saying that, first, this motion was not supposed even to come here to be debated, but because we observe the rules of law and our standing orders, the motion has been passed. I still want to see anybody who's going to vote in favor of this motion. Thank you very much.
I think all of you, I gave you an ample time. It is noted that the DA is supporting the motion. The Freedom Front Plus is supporting the motion. The EFF, Timabuan was speaking, I'm speaking. I will take you out. And the EFF is supporting the motion. ANC and collusion is not supporting the motion. So, I'm the speaker here. Can you please give me an opportunity? Councillor Senegal, I gave you an ample time to debate. Please, no. There is no time to withdraw. We are proceeding now. This is a council sitting. We are not playing games here. ANC and coalition partners are not supporting the motion. So now, councillors, we are going to vote for this motion.